Can I make my landscape photography look better through artificial intelligence? Most likely. Can I make it look worse? I think that's also possible. This video is sponsored by Luminar Neo. If you're interested in landscape photography editing and post-processing, I think you should stick around. Welcome to my channel. Here we talk about photography, and I make videos just like this one where I share tips that could help you to enhance your landscape photography. So, if you're here for the first time and you love photography like me, it might be a good idea to subscribe. I haven't talked about post-processing for a while, maybe a year, maybe more. And since then, a few things have changed. Amongst them now, we have artificial intelligence coming to help. We all know very well that is fantastic. It is awesome when we get everything right in camera, on the field. But as far as I'm concerned, this is not always the case. So now we have a few more tools that we can use to enhance our landscape photography. Let's dive right into it. Let's open Luminar Neo. Luminar Neo is a creative image photo editor. It can be used to edit your raw files from scratch, start to finish, or it can also be used as a plugin for Lightroom or Photoshop. So if you are like me, that you import all your images in Lightroom and you like to do your base adjustments there, you can keep on doing so. So once you're done editing your raw file, you can use this software as a plugin and finish your edit in Luminar Neo. I added 4 photos that I will try to enhance with the new features that Luminar Neo has available for us. I'd like to start with the most recent photo. You remember this photo that I took in Valle d'Aosta a few weeks ago. You also remember that I was a little disappointed that I couldn't find the reflections I wanted. I had no clouds, and this right here is the final edit that I show you in that video done in Lightroom. And I want to see if with this software I can do something else to make this photo pop a little more. So from the catalog mode I will move to the edit mode, and as you can see I have a lot of possibilities on the right side. Let's start with the landscape. For instance, something I find very cool is that I can enhance the foliage, and you will see how my trees are just popping a little bit, making this image immediately more interesting. If I click on the eye, I can see without this effect, and if I release it, I will see the effect again. I like to see this dehaze how will work in this image. By the way, no matter what editing software you're using, always apply your adjustments with moderations, otherwise it will look crazy. I want to see what happens if I add this golden hour effect. What happens if I go all the way? You can tell this is a little crazy, but if I scale back, maybe even more, it adds a little something, don't you think? Another interesting feature, in my opinion, is relight. This is a little crazy, this is all artificial intelligence, but once I'm back home, I can still decide if I want to have a little more light in the closer part of the image, or if I want that light further away. In this case, I like to add a little brightness in my foreground. Let's see how this works. So, as you can tell, I'm moving my slider to the right in order to have a little more brightness in my foreground. At the same time, I like to darken the background a little bit. Once I'm happy with how the scene is lit, I can decide the depth of these adjustments. I can reduce my depth, as you can tell. Look, now my foreground is back to where it was, but I can open it up little by little and see where it will be a perfect blend in my scene. Let's see before the relight and after. It looks even more balanced, don't you think? And now, just for fun, shall we do something really crazy and replace the sky? The Sky AI is a new feature, and opening this tab, I can select the sky that I think is more appropriate for this image. I think this can work. Let me see. Oh, look at that. With the first slider, I can adjust the horizon position and see where would be the right position for my scene. I can also move my vertical position to whatever fits better, but I will stay right in the center. And I can adjust my horizontal position. Again, it could be all the way to the left or all the way to the right. And then I can refine these adjustments in order to make it more realistic. I could defocus the sky a little bit, not too much. I could add a little grain. And if I want to make it warmer, there you go. Now, when I make my landscape photography videos, I take you with me, and you see exactly how my scenery looks, how my sky looks. So I have to say that I might need to get used to the idea of having the possibility to replace the sky. I have mixed feelings about this, and I'd love to know what you think in the comments. I love to use a different photo now. Do you remember this photo? This was one of the photos of my longest exposure photography series that I did in Milano. And again, this is the full edited photo in Lightroom. But I want to use this photo because at the time I did ask you, what did you think of these power lines? And I have to say that I did keep the power lines for two main reasons. First of all, I thought this is the way it looks, this is what you should see, but also because it would have been just a real nightmare to get rid of them. But now it is all different. There is a feature which is incredible, and I want to show it to you. If I open the Erase tab, you can see I have this object removal part. Remove power lines, remove dust spots. Dust spots, great. We often have a dirty sensor. I can just use these and automatically all my dust from the sensor will be gone. But let's see what happens if I remove the power lines. Software is doing its thing. Might take a second, but it will be always less than what it would take me to do it manually. Boom! Look at that. All my power lines are gone. At the same time, you might notice that the two antennas of both towers are partially gone. And I can decide if I want to restore them or if I want to get rid of them altogether. And in this case, I think that's what I will do. So let me zoom in, and I will just erase what is left over. Same thing on the other side. I think that if I zoom out now, you won't see anything anymore. Okay, one more image. Cape Elizabeth in Maine. Beautiful spot. a nice long exposure photo that is fully edited in Lightroom. Most people would think, okay, this is fine the way it is, but I want to see if I can enhance it a little more using Luminar Neo. And I just want to use the landscape tab, where I will increase the dehaze. See how the red intensify a little bit? But I also want to have more color and more light on these rocks in the foreground. And by moving the golden hour slider to the right, you will see, pay attention, how more interesting this becomes. I think that I will need to move back the dehaze slider a tiny bit, otherwise the sky becomes a little too much, and maybe the golden hour I went crazy. But let's see before and after. Before and after. Just a little pop. Also, I like to add a vignette right in here. I can decide the amount. There you go. And I can decide the size. I like to feather it a little bit and maybe add a little bit of inner light. Last image that I want to enhance with this software is the lady in red in Bandon Beach, Oregon. This shot is a shot that I took in 2015. It is a composite shot. I have a fast exposure for the lady in red that is walking, and a long exposure for the scene. I think is a couple of minutes exposure. I love to add a little drama to this photo that looks already quite dramatic. Let's see if Luminar Neo can help me. And in this case, I'm going to open the atmosphere panel. So you can see I can add fog, I can add layer fog, I can add mist, I can add haze. And in this case, I think that haze could work, but I want to have it closer, so I can move the depth slider in order to have it closer to the lady in red. See, subtle, but it's there. This could be also a situation where I could add some near brightness. Finally, I want to see if the dramatic panel will help me here. I'm moving the slider to the right to see what happens. Maybe a little more local contrast, maybe a little less saturation. Maybe also I will reduce the brightness. Let's see. So what do you think? I kind of have a feeling that this video might cause some reactions from you. Some of you will like these features. Some of you will write in the comments that if you don't find the perfect colors in the sky, you just need to leave it alone and you will need to go back and try it again. I don't disagree, but I also feel that there is nothing wrong in having fun with the software and try to make the most out of your shots. Nevertheless, thanks to 𝗬𝗂 for sponsoring this video. I really enjoyed trying this software. I think that it can really help me to enhance my photos if used with taste and moderation. If you want to try Luminar Neo for yourself, you will find a link down in the description below. This is all for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.